All right. Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. Mike Price coming to you live with the Top Producer Series. And a lot of people have been asking me, Mike, what's this Top Producer Series you're doing? And it's pretty much I am tapping in to the relationships I have in the Atlanta market and talking to folks that I have known for a lot, either have just met or known for a long time. And a top producer is a top producer in a lot of senses. It's not just production. It's their character, it's their integrity, and it's also how they take care of their clients and their team and their people and the kind of culture they have. So it all goes into one. It's not just production, but um, the lady I am interviewing today is a good friend, Kelly Nolan Berry, and I've known Kelly for gosh, I don't know how many years, 30 years maybe.
Yeah.
And we hung out back in the Douglasville days, way back when we were there. We reconnected in 2012 when I joined Keller Williams' office in Smyrna, and I think we chaired the leadership board, Agent Leadership Council, together that year, and we've stayed in touch ever since, and just kind of hung out and watched each other grow. I'm gonna brag on you for a minute, Kelly. Kelly is having a great year. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So far, year to date, she's helped 60 families buy or sell a home in the West Georgia area. And she's got 9 more families, and that's for $14.8 million in volume. And then she's got 9 more families pending. So her grand total this year, and we're not even in December yet, will be 69 families served and about $17.6 million in volume. So that's a strong year. I'd say that's probably one of your best years.
It is. Yep. Best
That's
year
great.
so far.
Well, Kelly, tell us a little bit about tell the fans out there a little bit about you, and tell us about where you work.
I don't know how many fans I have out there, but like Mike said, my name is Kelly Nolan Berry, and I have been a realtor for 22 years. I have a husband of the last 6 years, and then I have 2 grown children. My oldest child is Michael, and he just recently got married. He lives in the Kennesaw area and works for the Atlanta Braves. And then my youngest will be 21 in November. His name is Matthew. He still lives in Carrollton and is my boat mechanic. He's a fisherman. So my world has kind of revolved around them. And now that they're pretty self-sufficient, about the last 6 years, I've been able to really focus on my business. Was an individual agent until about 6 or 7 years ago when I started my team. And so I've had a team for about the last 6 or 7 years. So I will be board president next year for the West Metro Board of Realtors. So that'll be a new feather in my cap. We'll see how that goes. And other than that, that's just a little bit about me.
Well, so I remember back in the day, back in the 2011 and 12, when Mr. John Fountain brought me into that office and stuck me in an office with a script and told me to call a bunch of people. That's how I started getting business. And I think we were all pretty much solo agents at that point in time. And what a great person to tutor, to mentor under John Fountain and the agents in that office. I remember going in there and looking at these top producers in there and going, wow, Amanda Farr, Courtney Newton, just to name a few, just Deborah Rashford, just these people that were crushing it. I kept looking up to these folks and you as well. So tell me, you said you've got a team I think you said after your kids got a little bit older, you were able to really focus on the real estate when you had a little more freedom. What does your team look like right now?
Yeah, I think it was in 2013 when I kind of started figuring out, being, like you said, being on the ALC and being surrounded by Amanda Farr, Courtney Newton, John Zerker, all of those, fortunately they kind of were there and kind of were the ones to give me the push that I needed. And, as an individual agent, you kind of look at, I can do all this myself. I'm not quite there to hire somebody. I'm not quite there to bring on somebody else. And, you just kind of got to shift your mindset and you look at, I just don't want to give that money away. Right. And Amanda, I never will forget, and I thank her for this to this day, where she called me and she said, I have made you an appointment with Kim Smith with a closing company, and you're going to go. You're going to get some leverage. So that was kind of the first step in that. I hired a virtual contract to close person. And then the next year I started kind of getting my feet wet with the buyer's agent. It was me and my first buyer's agent, Kimberly Gentry. She's Zitting now. She was Gentry then, but she and I worked together, and we just had the virtual assistance piece. And then we grew into, I hired an admin. And so then I brought on a second agent for a while. And then she decided she wanted to go on her own. And then it's just kind of been me and a buyer's agent. Kimberly decided to go on her own about 3 years ago. And I brought on Mandy, who is my buyer's agent now. I have, through 2 previous hires, I really focused and went through a lot of the proper means of hiring the last time. And I've got Wendy Justice, my admin, my right hand. I don't know what I'd do without her. She's been with me for about 5 years. So.
Wow. Okay. So instrumental in your growth, having someone on the operations side to help you. So let's talk about that for a minute. For all of you agents out there, some of these folks watching are, have these big mega teams, but there's a lot of folks that are watching this and will rewatch this that are just getting started, or maybe they have helped, 15 to 20, 30 families. When you get to about that 25 family a year, your unit a year production, even before that, you really need to hire a phenomenal operations person, because a lot of folks want to try to do it all themselves. I like to be in control. And if you don't leverage and let go, number one, you're giving someone else an opportunity to make a living for their family and see their dreams, but you're also making it better for your family. As you and I both know, when you have people helping you, we can actually go to the ball game, and we can actually go to the dinner and things like that, every night. And things like that. So operational has been key to your success, right?
Yeah, it really has. And it has afforded me the ability to be able to go and say, I'm not worried about these phone calls. I'm not worried about, I'm still always very present. I have a really hard time just completely shutting it off. But I am able to take and kind of pass off. I'm confident enough in the people that I have with me that I can pass off, everything to them, and that it can be handled at a level that I feel like one of the stronger suits that I have within myself has been communication. And I don't like to allow things to go unresponsive. So I have those systems in place where they're able to do that communication for me so that I can take a break at times.
Well, and also, for us that own the teams, it's a little thinking time. How do I create more opportunity for these people that are with me, and how do I make their lives better? And it's not just stack more transactions on top of them. It's, giving them systems.
Quality of life for everybody.
That's right. Absolutely. So 69 families helped so far this year, and I'm sure there's going to be some more people that are going to be able to work with you. Tell everybody where. That's a lot of people. How long did it take you to get to that? Did it happen overnight? And where does all this business come from?
I'm very fortunate. I have a builder. So about 20% of my business is new construction. And so that is kind of what started me in real estate, was the new construction piece. So I'm blessed to still be able to have that as a piece of my business. The rest of it's just repeat and referral. And it's just past clients that recommend me, repeat clients. Like I've had a couple of transactions this year that have been clients that I sold their house, they bought something, now they're selling again, buying again. So it's a lot of that repeat type business. And I would say in 2013, my business increased that year by over 300%.
Wow.
And it was just from being purposeful. It was from, meeting with Sean Rawls and doing a business plan and putting it out there and all that kind of, it was probably the first time I'd ever done anything like that, kind of writing it down and having those goals and then watching those goals come to fruition. and then just know, okay, so this really does work. It's not just not a part of the Kool-Aid. It really does work. So you got to, you look at that and you put it out there and things happen. And every year it's been an increase. And it's just, I'm so blessed to have the sphere that I have, the friends, the relationships. And I'm just very blessed and very fortunate.
Well, a couple of things you said there, for instance, going back to Sean Rawls, having someone like that in our lives at that time, who could almost see around corners,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and remove a lot of the guesswork.
Yeah.
And tell us how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That was, so Sean, if you're listening to this, thanks, man. We appreciate
We love you.
But also, when you say you've got all these people that you're this repeat business, that's not just because you're a superstar, which is the main reason, but you've also created a culture and a team around you, which basically is an extension of you. So your clients know when they are working with your team that they are working with people that you have vetted that have integrity and are honest and hardworking like yourself. And that's probably one of the big reasons you're getting a lot of business. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so, because it allows me to be a better agent. There's only so many hours in a day. And, you've got to be able to have somebody who can step in confidently and be able to have those conversations. I can remember when I first started my team, I really struggled with, well, nobody's going to want to work with somebody else. They're working with me. These are my people. These are my clients and all that. And so learning to be able to pass that off to Kimberly or Mandy and letting them, handle those buyers. I've been able to do that because I invest in them and they know this is this is the level of service that I want to provide. And I can confidently allow them to work with repeat buyer clients, people, my friends, family, and let them work with them and be confident in that too.
That's right. And it shows when when you get the phone call, somebody you've helped, you stayed in touch, you called them on their birthdays, you called them on their kids' birthdays, and you did a great job, and they call you back. That's probably one of the best feelings for any agent, because of the trust that they have in us. And most people, it's the largest financial asset they'll ever have, and to trust us with that. That situation is incredible. And I feel like you. I feel so blessed every time it happens. So what a great business you set up. So you cover mainly what areas, Kelly?
Carroll County is primarily where the center of my business has been. Okay. Douglasville, we do some Haralson County, Bremen, a little bit on this side of the Noonan side, and some Heard County. Paulding County, I try to kind of stay within a little circle around that because, like I said, I want to be able to be attentive. I don't want to take a listing on the other side of town that if somebody's locked out of the house, I can't get there, because to me, I'm very purposeful and focusing around the areas that I'm most comfortable with so that I can always provide that level of service that I want to.
That's great. Now, is your business primarily listings or buyers? What does that split look like?
I think we've hover around that 50-50 piece. It may have been a little more skewed this year, stronger on the listing side than the buyer side, just because of the buyer market that we've got. Fortunately, a lot of our buyers were also sellers, so that helps too. But we're usually right around that 50-50 mark between listings and buyers.
And you're predominantly the listing agent on the team?
Yes. There's a lot of times I do have to work with the buyers just with the nature of the market. We can't both be at one place at one time, two places at one time. So I'm still very hands-on with that too. I never completely turn them loose, even though I may not talk to them or see them or show all the properties. Mandy and I are always in communication as to what's going on with the transaction. Never
not having your finger on the pulse.
Right. That's one of my control issues that I've had a hard time completely letting go.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Like the dream of no more email.
And
being able to unplug, right?
Yeah.
So Kelly, for those agents out there, and your story is incredible. I mean, you went from a solo agent. You basically went through all of the trials and tribulations and pitfalls and successes to get to where you are now. It didn't happen overnight. What would you tell someone that's relatively new in the business, that's either just getting started or they may have a year under their belt and they're starting to get some traction and they're starting to grow a business? What would you be advice for those people?
I talked to a lot of the new agents in our office out here, and probably one of the biggest things I would say that's, I don't know how much of a business thing it is. Like you said, I've been at this for 22 years, mm-hmm. and I lived between 2008 and 2012 when the market turned. And during that time, I became a divorced single mother of 2 children and was their sole financial provider. Wow. And so I lived through that. And there were some days I'm like, well, sure, if I have a closing to make my house payment, or, how we're going to eat, and, living off of hamburger buns from open houses that somebody else sponsored, eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on that, but I learned a lot through that. And when the market turned, I made a promise to myself that I would not spend any money until I had enough living expenses to live for 3 months. And then that went to 6 months. Mm-hmm. So I would tell these new agents that are coming out there, save your money. Don't just spend it because you get it. Start saving it away, because the light switch can go off just as quick as it's come back on. And you just got to be prepared for that. So I would say that's probably my number one. And don't get started in this business unless you've got enough money set aside that you can survive for 3 months, because you may or may not have a closing right away. So save your money. That's probably the first. Sorry. Got strangled here. So probably the first thing. Second thing would be, just, even if you don't partner up with somebody, just hang around the people that are doing it. Yeah. Listen to their conversations. See how they handle things, because you'll begin to listen to those things, and that will just kind of become third nature. And keep up with everybody you meet. I would have given anything if I had taken my hairdressing clientele from when I quit being a hairdresser to being a realtor. If I'd had that information and started my business based off of that database, mm-hmm. and get the systems in place, nurture those people, contact them, find your core group of 20 people. You may only have 5 people right now, but take those 5 people and then grow them to 20, mm-hmm. and just really work on solidifying your database, because it is gold. I don't work mine like I should, and it's a goal of mine every year, and then something happens and it just, so I begin to add a little bit to it every year, but it really is the people, the relationships that you have from your past life can be very instrumental in your new life.
I have new agents all the time that might, how do you do so much business, and how do you get all this business? And the first thing I ask them, I go, what does your database look like? And they're like, what's that? And I go, well, make a list of 50 people that you know, at least 20. And that's exactly what John Fountain had me do in 2011. And I tell people that today. You have a lot of people that like you and trust you, new agents, and don't be afraid to call them and tell them that you are a realtor. And with Facebook and Instagram and all the social media that we didn't have back then,
right?
We had to just go face to face. You can do all this on social media like we're doing right now and get the word out. And once you get them, you take great care of them. You are there through the process because you're helping them solve a need. You get them through the closing table, and you keep in touch. And a real good advice, and I know that you'll agree with this for new agents, if there's a problem, if there's an issue or something like that, you just have to own it. Yeah. Don't pass it off on this, that, and other. You just completely 100% own it. And falling on the sword hurts sometimes, but you got to do it. And like you said, Kelly, save your money. A lot of people are doing really well right now. And I see a lot of boats, and I see a lot of fancy cars. And this thing could turn around on a dime.
Yeah, that's why I bought a camper. And then that way, if I lose everything, at least I got a place to live.
Got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
You know, KOA for $20 a night.
That's right. Not the ones I go to. They're a little bougie. So, yeah. I'm a glamper, so there's no real thing for me.
That would be my deal. Yeah, that would be my wife asked me. She's like, "Yeah, my hotel is my deal."
Yeah.
Well, so Kelly, you've got your finger on the pulse. You do a lot of business. what do you see? I know we've had a crazy year. What do you see the market doing in the foreseeable future, the next 6 to 7 months of next year?
I think we've the rising cost and just everything. I'm seeing it like May, June, July. I couldn't hardly breathe. You put houses on the market, you got 87 showings and 47 offers, and you're just like, oh my gosh, where are these people coming from? You've got all this. Then we started seeing in July and August and September a little bit out here, especially just a little bit of a slowdown, especially you're starting to, centered around some of your certain price points. So I think we're seeing a lot of this first time home buyer fatigue, and they're just tired of having to go up against 50 million people.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a little bit of that slowdown. Also, I'm seeing a little bit of self-correction in the pricing. Pricing was going through the roof, and was unsustainable. So it needed to level off a little bit too. I kills me, these people. And this is where me as the mama and my little first time home buyers, on one hand, you got to say, look, if you want to buy this house, you got to go in without any appraisal contingency, got to go in without any finance contingency, and you got to willing to be paying $10,000, $20,000 over list. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side of that, I'm like, why would I be telling you that? That it's not smart. So I think some of that, the cooler heads are prevailing a little bit. So we're seeing a little bit of that more so out here. I think it's going to level off. I think we're still going to have the inventory issues that we have. Interest rates are creeping up a little bit. I see a lot in our new construction. Like we went through the summer with 400% in pricing increases. Like we had a house that we sold in July the previous year. We're now listing at $100,000 more than what we built it for a year ago. Thankfully, that's leveled off a little bit, but still, it's the supply chain. It's just everything. So, I think we're going to see it continue to increase, and it's going to. There's still going to be people that want to sell and buyers that want to buy, but I don't know. Maybe summer it'll go crazy again. I don't know if my blood pressure can handle another May and June. I just don't.
Yeah. And hey, Mr. and Miss Seller, here's 16 offers.
Yeah.
$20,000 over list price.
Yeah. You have to put them in a spreadsheet. Like I would like. I had probably the biggest thing I had a house listed in Powder Springs. We listed it for $174,900, started showings at 11 o'clock, and I had 87 showings. They were every 15 minutes on Saturday and Sunday, and 40-something offers. I just had to put the terms in a spreadsheet. I mean, I just said, here you go, because it's just, and here's the top 5. These are the it's crazy. It's just crazy. So.
Well, all of that says if you are someone who's thinking of purchasing a home or you're thinking of selling a home, it is very important that you speak to a professional.
Yes.
That knows what they're doing, that has done a lot of transactions, and not just for transaction's sake. People that do a lot of transactions like us, it's because we have a grip on the market. We have systems, we have processes. There's things that we can do. We can maneuver. Like at this point, between you and I don't think there's anything we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Safe to say, probably never say never. But if you're looking to buy a house, get with a trusted professional, get with a great lender. That matters. All those matter when you're writing an offer. And for those of y'all that are waiting for the market to cool, we're seeing a little seasonality, as Kelly just said. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing what it's like to be in the fall.
Yeah.
Normally, we didn't see it last year. Everybody's a short memory. But it's if it's anything like it's been in the last 12 years, it's going to go hockey stick in probably February, March.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see the pricing come down at all. No. I think we've leveled out a little bit. I don't think it's going to, and the only reason why it dropped so bad before was the financial market, the lending market and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't think we're going to see that again, because the people that do need to sell, they've got equity. They can sell in their houses. But to elaborate a little bit on what you said about a professional, another thing too, that I think people lose touch with, because they may go for the person that's advertising on TV and on radio and all that kind of stuff. Local knowledge, local relationships are so important in this market, because especially if you are dealing with multiple offers, you've got 4 agents, one of which is not even out here. They don't want to drive out here to show and take care of their responsibilities. So it's going to, all of that. Or you've got a local agent that you've done deals with them, you've got experience with them, and it makes a difference. So look at the agents in your area. That's who you go to first. You find your local people that are knowledgeable of the area. So,
and there's I've told a lot of sellers this year, and a lot of people there's a lot of realtors that shoot me for saying this on publicly, but anybody could sell a house right now. I mean, anybody, but there is a huge difference. It's another world between selling a house and selling a house for top dollar. Those are 2 different things entirely. And if you are not with a professional that has systems and processes and strategies and knowledge and a track record, you are going to leave a lot of money on the table. There's going to be a lot more headache, and we'll look back and go, I wish I'd have called Kelly Nolan Berry when I was out there. I should have done that.
Yeah.
So Kelly, some fun. Let's have some fun right now. Are you a Braves fan?
Of course, my son works there. So
are you going to the series? I think you said
I'm hoping to go Friday night. I hope he's going to pull through. I've got my parking, so I'll at least go sit in the parking lot, I guess.
Well, I
hope to go Friday.
Tickets on the way. So Braves going to win the World Series.
Yeah, Braves going to win the World Series.
What's your favorite restaurant?
I called it earlier in the year. So
you called it?
Called it. I'm like, this is going to be our year. It's going to be the year.
I've got tickets to game Sunday, so I hope they make it back to Atlanta.
We got free tonight. I would love to, especially losing Charlie Morton. I think we need to clinch it in 4. But if you go, they need to clinch it for Sunday night. So
that's right. Well, they clinched the NLCS when I went, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, all right.
I'll wear the same shirt.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant? What do you like to eat out there?
Really anything Mexican. I mean, I can't. Yeah, that's probably my favorite. If I have to choose, we're going out to dinner, then we're going to go eat at a Mexican restaurant somewhere. We've got some we Los Cowboys in Villa Rica usually every week, or there's several in Carrollton that are good too.
Okay. So if you can unplug, and we both understand how hard that is, if you could completely unplug, no telephone, no email, no nothing, no social media, just unplug for 3 days, where would you go?
We bought a camper this year. We've really been enjoying that. So I would probably just find some cool little place up in the North Georgia mountains somewhere, and just that's on some water or stream that, just has places to just be outside with my husband and my dogs.
There you go. All right. Well, Kelly, so anybody, if you're a realtor and you're looking for someone to partner with out in the West Georgia area, out in Carrollton, if you want a mentor, if you are a buyer and seller out that way, how do we get in touch with you?
Easy email address is just kellyberry@kw.com, and that's KELLYBERRY@kw.com. And then my cell phone is 678-410-0161. And we love to help in any way.
Perfect. Well, everybody, this is recorded. It's going to be on my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, Mike Price team. So you guys can come back anytime and rewatch this and get Kelly's information, or just direct message me and I'll get it to you. And Kelly, it's awesome to see you again. I'm glad we got to catch up.
Yeah.
And,
awesome. Thank you for this opportunity.
I look forward to watching you grow and build your team. And, let me know if I can do anything to help you. Okay.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.